Thank you for joining us and welcome to the new ESEA Coordinator Training Series. In this video, we are providing a brief overview of important ESEA application reminders for ESEA grant programming. Within this section, you will notice yellow highlighting, which note ESEA application items that take some planning and must be completed before the submission deadline. On this slide, we'll be discussing the Comprehensive Needs Assessment. The CNA stands for that Comprehensive Needs Assessment that's outlined in Section 1306 of ESEA statute. The CNA functions as a North Star, collecting data on the needs of your school or district and addressing how you plan to address those needs. Its purpose is to help diagnose district and school needs, set goals, and analyze data so that the district can focus on what they need to do to continually improve their school or district. When completing the CNA, districts need to annually reflect on past student outcomes and data, the environment and culture of the school, the programs and interventions that are currently in place, and the structures and supports of their district. Essentially, this large document functions as that North Star, which gets to the root causes and the work districts must do to improve student outcomes. Your district CNA guides the kinds of projects, programs, and interventions you facilitate in your school. The CNA should help ESEA coordinators draw a direct line from what their district needs to what the federal funding will be used for. On the left-hand side, you will see the very first page of a CNA. As noted, you will need to collect data for and reflect on your planning team, data, personnel, family, community engagement, accountability, and multilingual students if you have them. For you at ESEA coordinators, the Comprehensive Needs Assessment, or CNA, is really important because it's the basis for the projects outlined in the ESEA application that will be addressing the needs outlined. This document does need to be updated annually to signify changes in scores, goals, and action steps that have been taken. The ESEA application is also annual. This slide provides a link on our website to the CNA template shown on the previous slide, also boxed in orange, as well as other resources on this topic that you can peruse. Another area for ESEA coordinators to be aware of when planning for the ESEA application is the need to create an application development team with a variety of stakeholders. This team will need to meet prior to the application submission to discuss the needs of the district and schools when determining how to use ESEA funds. Additionally, before submitting the application, a district must share how they plan to utilize ESEA funding and leave time for the public to comment on that plan. This acts as an opportunity for members of the public to weigh in on the use of ESEA funds. Districts may need to provide evidence of how they considered feedback provided from the public comment prior to the submission of the ESEA application if they received comments. When you are on the sections page of the ESEA application in Grants for Me, click on the ESEA Application Development Team page to input this information. As you can see, you are required to name the group members as well as their titles and are required to have parents, community members, program representatives, and teachers. Students are optional. You are also required to mark the time of meetings, the time for public comment, and write a description of the public comment process. Another requirement in the ESEA application is to provide a link to the ESEA Dashboard somewhere on the district website. This dashboard provides information for parents and community members on student demographics, teacher certification, assessments, and much more. We need evidence that your webpage provides this information, as well as a small description of what the dashboard is and what information can be gleaned from it. Here's a link to the dashboard itself. The final ESEA application requirement I will be going over is the non-public consultation process. If there is a non-public in your region, you may need to provide equitable title funding to that school. First, you will want to check whether or not this is something your district will have to do. To check, you will head to the sections page in Grants for Me and click on the non-public schools consultation page. Here you can see what the non-public schools consultation page looks like. If you have a non-public school in your region, you will need to contact the school and determine whether or not the school is interested in participating in the title funding they are eligible for. In this example, you can see below that Bay School is eligible for $18,543 in Title I funds, as well as a certain percentage of Title II, III, and IV. Blue Harbor Hill, however, has not opted into Title I, but are eligible for Title II, III, and IV. After consulting with the non-public school, you will need to complete the ESEA non-public school participation form, which is highlighted in orange below. This is a PDF document that requires a signature from the non-public school. Then you will also need to be sure to mark above what the school has or has not opted into. If you do not have a non-public school listed in the application, you do not need to worry about this requirement. Here is an example where the page is blank since there's no non-public school in the region. If the non-public school is eligible for an equitable share, as shown in Grants for Me, the public school is required to consult with the non-public school. You will want to call or email the school and share what titles the non-public school could receive. You will want to explain the basics of the different funding pools, and if the non-public school opts into title programming, the ESEA coordinator will need to oversee the fiscal and programmatic requirements for that funding. The coordinator will need to work with the non-public school to draft a statutorily appropriate project description and budget. Then the coordinator will oversee this program and consult regularly with the non-public school to check in about that program. For additional resources and further training, please visit the Maine DOE's website at the URL provided. For support with specific questions, please be sure to reach out to your ESEA Regional Program Manager. Thank you again for joining us today. We wish you the best in your new role as an ESEA coordinator.